Hi everyone. So in our last video we made the drums patterns, the swing drums with a bit of Samba thrown in, and we hid it, remember, in instruments, drums, and there it is. So we've hidden a complete one for our demo, or for perhaps other players who can't just make up their own patterns. But now that we've done that, we kind of need to do a bit more with this bass. Remember, way back in video 1, we put in the bass as a very simple walking bass line. And since then, I've found, well, and I've been told about other really useful workflows for bass that can help speed things up if you're not a bass player, which I'm not. So I was very grateful to see that. And also, since that first video, MuseGuitars Volume 1 has been released, which includes an electric bass. So we want to see what that can do in our bass line. But we also want to check out some ways to make writing bass quicker. And the first thing I want to look at is this plugin by the user Philxan. I'm not sure how you would pronounce it, but this is a fantastic plugin. I've really enjoyed it. He actually commented on one of the videos and told me about this plugin, so I've really enjoyed looking through it. Let's hide this bass for now. Let's press I to add a new bass. I'm going to use an acoustic bass for now. Okay, so we've got an acoustic bass. This is an MS Basic acoustic bass. But how this plugin works is we'll copy the chord symbols, and we've got this on guitar, so I can just copy it direct from guitar. No need for filtering. Put it in the acoustic bass. Before I do anything more, I want to mute those chords. So let's go chords, acoustic bass, mute. Thank you. Then with this still selected, we'll go to plugins. If you've never installed a plugin before, the website makes it very easy. Just follow the instructions there. But go to plugins and walking bass, and we get this slightly cut off window. Luckily it's not a problem. We can see everything that we need. So our lowest pitch is E1, standard for a bass. Let's keep it like that. We're not going to go for any extended basses here. 5-string bass. Octave range 2.5. I feel like for the kind of big band stuff that I write, that might be a bit much. I will go 1.5 for now. Flip percentage is talking about, if you want to understand all of these things better, go and have a look at the README that is on the GitHub page for the Walking Bass plugin. It's got all of these things described, so they're really, really good. Flip percentage will be flipped from being the closest interval. So it tries to get the closest interval in these patterns that it's using. And this is how much it will not go to the closest note. In thirds to sixths. Interesting. Patterns text, if you want to see what pattern it's using, I'm not going to include that for now. Another nice feature of this is that if you are writing this for a proper bassist who will make their own patterns, but you just want to hear something for now for a demo, you can add in slashes and it will just still play everything, but it will just show slashes. So that's really quite cool. I'm going to leave that off because we do want to see what the notes are doing. Using non-root patterns, so starting the bar or the chord with a note that is not the root, 10%. I think I'm even going to put that to 0 because for my purposes today, I want to start everything on the root. And then repeat note octaves means if there's a repeated note in the pattern, like a 1, 1, 2, 5 is a common pattern apparently, it will change that to an octave. So yeah, 50% actually is fine. Right, let's give it a go. And just like that, we have a walking bass line. And it basically is just choosing these patterns at random and putting them in. Now, the other great thing about this is that if you just go, no, I don't like any of that, it's very simple to run the plugin again because of that randomization idea. I mean, you can change the things. I'm not going to change them. I'm going to keep the naught. And it generates a new walking bass line. So, except I've got the patterns. Wait, let's run it again. And there we go. And of course, always it's good to know about the kind of patterns that bassists would use. Do some learning. I think I've learned quite a lot in the last little while. I would never call myself an expert, but if there are particular things you want, by all means go and change them. I mean, it seems to be fitting really well to the chord, so that's really wonderful. So this can be a huge time saver if you just want to get a bass in there. You've chosen some chords. I just need a bass for something, so that maybe you want to focus on your horns and what they're doing. Really could help a lot for a walking bass. So thanks very much, Philxan. Awesome plugin, very, very cool. Now, last time with the drums, we made this change to a Samba, and I think we need to just adapt our bass to fit that. So here we go. I'm just going to write something and see what I've got. You know what, if everyone's doing the triplet, let's do the triplet. So yeah, let's give that a try, see how it sounds. I like these dotted quaver, semi-quaver combinations, really give it that nice Samba feel together with the drums, working very, very nicely. Okay, great. And I haven't even looked at the rest of the... I'm going to trust our plugin that it has worked okay and has given us, even just up to this first 16 bars, a nice walking bass. Now it's time to try out some other sounds. We do, of course, have all these other bass sounds. So acoustic bass, fingered bass, picked bass, fretless, slap, pop, synth. I don't think we're going for any synths. Fretless could work quite nicely. So could fingered or picked. I don't know. Slap? No, doesn't fit this one. So let's have a comparison of a couple of these ones. And I'll just do some magic editing and we'll hear them change over. Okay, it is quite a nice sound, and I would say I really actually like the acoustic bass the best, but I do want to explore this electric bass because a modern big band would probably have an electric bass, and it gives a nice realism. There's some notes that have a slightly different timbre and all of that kind of thing, which is nice to have. So let's keep it on that. Now the other thing I've discovered is this video from Pdbass, jazz lesson number 17, 4 ways to ornament your walking lines. And he covers anticipation, ghost notes at pitch and on a lower string, the pull off, which I don't think I will try in MuseScore, and the rake, all of which could be fun. So let's try some of those with our bass line, just to spice it up a little bit. Again, even if we just have a bass line that is slashes, or a simple walking bass line, most of these bassists, I would imagine, would add their own ornaments in, but we know that MuseScore is also a way for us to create our own music without musicians necessarily. So even if this is, like we say, just a demo, or we want to introduce some school bassists to some of these ornamentations, this could be a way to do it. I think the most common one is a ghost note, so let's add that first. We can just add another one in there. For some reason we're not swinging again. I think it's because we added another bass. Let's just cut that and paste it. That seems to be a glitch. I I know Pdbass says that ghost notes can get a bit excessive, so we're not going to use them too much, but every now and again they are quite nice. They just add that little forward drive. Because we're using the MuseSounds new electric bass, I want to see what it can do in the way of cross notes, which would be the proper ghost note. Let's give it some warning. That's also quite nice with the sort of slightly muted ghost note on there. And if we did it on that one, also very cool, just an open A ghost note, or even on the E. That's quite fun as well. Okay, so these ghost notes just in the notation, note heads, and X, the cross note head gives us a ghost note. Very cool. Let's skip the Samba section, come back into our swing. Let's give this one an anticipation, shall we? And I'm going to suggest that we add another ghost note. That's fun. Why not? Anticipating that first beat on the E7 chord. Why not? Let's find somewhere where it jumps down to do a rake. I'm going to have a D string and the A. So those are just on open strings. That's quite fun. Let's just hear it one more time. And if we used instead some ghosts. Oh, that's very cool. I like the ghost rake. That's a lot of fun. So let's see how this sounds with our full mix. I actually suspect that we want the rake there going into the next section. So let's do that as a kind of bass fill. Let's keep that just as a crotchet. Let's do it here. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I enjoy that. Because this is an electric bass, we also have things like, and because this is the Muse bass, the MuseGuitars bass, we can go to the guitar palette and there are all these fun things. So let's give, I don't think we need any bends. Here we go. In the arpeggios and glissandi palette, we have things like a fall, which bass doesn't do particularly well that I found. Let's just try that out. Yeah, it's not really noticeable. So let's get rid of that. But the doit could work quite well, especially in a gap. Let's have it here. Let's have an anticipation again. And then we'll go for a doit upwards. I hope that's the right word. Nope. There it is. Okay, so we just needed to get the playback right. Not so sure if that's working yet, but let's just try it for the whole band. No, it goes on a bit long, and I don't think we have control over any of those things in the duet. Okay, still good to see. I like the idea that we can, run down the frets to that low F. It's just not being implemented well yet, perhaps. Perhaps that's because of me. I don't know. Let's try it somewhere else. Let's try to get that E earlier. Give it a chance. That could maybe work. So go play around with your bass lines, see what fun things you can come up with. And I will see you next time. Bye.